Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel, here with my mid-year freakout. I'm pumped, I'm excited. This was fun to put together and it's going to be a reflection of the reading mood I've been in all year. I mean, honestly, I feel like 2023 has been the year of a certain genre of sports romance for me to an extent, which I hate and like, there's a double-sided coin here where like I'm very frustrated by certain aspects of the genre, but it is what it is. Anyways, I have put together my questions. I went and stole them from Heather over here Booktube's list. Just full honesty here. I just grabbed them off hers. There's been multiple versions of this tag for years on Booktube. I think it's just a really fun way to check in on the year, see where we're at, how things are going. Some quick halfway through the year stats for you, including so far in July because I'm not doing that math. I have read 212 books this year. A lot of manga obviously accumulates this number, but also my regular books. I just read a lot. We know this. That's what I do. I like to read, so I read a lot. My goal for 2023 is like 300-ish books. That's usually about where I land these days. We'll see. I'll probably be over this year, but you never know. You never know. And I've read about 53,000 pages. So not bad. And hopefully I will hit about 75 by the end of the year. I would like to one year hit 100,000 pages, but I don't know if I read long enough books to manage that, if that makes sense. I've gotten close on years I've read a lot of manga, but that would be excessive amounts of manga as well. So we're here. I will be back soon with my check-in for the amount of money I've spent on books this year, including manga, because I didn't calculate manga last year and we've calculated manga this year. So honestly, it's not great, but also it is what it is, and it's not like putting financial strain on my life, so like there's that. But I would like to reel it in to some extent for the last half of the year, so we'll see what I manage. We'll see. But let's dive right into this tag and the questions for this tag. So the first question we have is the best book you've read. I picked two, so I picked a manga and I picked a book for this one, and I picked Forget Me Not by Julie Soto because this has been a standout for me this year, and I'm actually like, my copy is coming in the mail next week when it comes out from Barnes, and I'm planning to do a reread and annotate it. That's how much I like this book. I want to go back through and highlight it. So yeah, I really liked this. I've talked about this a good bit. I read it early in March because we got an arc through Libro FM with the audiobook, and I was just so surprised. I was not expecting to love this as much as I did, and I'm over here just thrilled at how much I loved it and how well it worked for me. We all know I love a fan fiction with the serial numbers filed off. This cover tells you what it is. I mean, so if you're new here, you don't know this. I don't take a lot of physical arcs. I tend to prefer digital, or I want both. Like I need like a physical and a digital, but I literally got a physical arc. When I read this, one of my friends works at Forever, and she was like, do you want an arc for photos? And I was like, yeah, I do. I really do want an arc for photos. So she sent me this, and I do need to go take it and take a good picture of it. But like I took a physical arc because I was like, yeah, I love this book. So there's that. Like I loved this. This is about a wedding planner and a florist. This is their second chance romance, which like not always my favorite, but the way this played out was really good for me. She's named after a flower. He has flower tattoos. Like this is a good one. This was a fun one. This worked for me. I liked that we had dual perspectives told, telling different timelines. So Amma, our heroine, is telling the present time, and Elliot, our hero, is telling the past. And I really liked how that worked. And you know, like of course it has like some of the Raylo typicals, like he's giant and all this stuff, but like it's not, I don't feel like it doesn't affect the story. It doesn't just feel like a Raylo fic. But yeah, I loved this, and I cannot wait for my physical copy to arrive, and I'm just so excited to have it. The manga series is probably not a surprise, but maybe it is. I don't know. It's the Apothecary Diaries. I am obsessed. I got caught up on it during 30 and 30 and then was very sad to be caught up. So I'm anxiously awaiting volume 8 right now, and this is one of those series that for me this year has just been a standout. You know, every year I have a couple mangas that like stand out for sure, and like that I've just started, aren't ones I've just been continuing. So for me, that would be Apothecary Diaries this year. This follows Mao Mao, who is a apothecary and ends up in servitude at the castle. She's in the inner court. She helps solve the mystery of why the babies are dying and other things. She also has a taste for poison, which is really funny to witness. We have like a love interest thing happening. We do have an anime coming this year that looks fantastic from the preview. So I'm just here for this in general. This just has like a lot of my favorite things in manga happening in one book. So this is definitely my favorite manga of the year. Okay, next we have the best sequel you've read. So we have King of Pride by Anna Wong. I was nervous for this book, but when I got my arc and I devoured it in like 24 hours, I was happy. This follows Isabel, who works at the private club, who we like meet in the first book, King of Wrath. So, and then we follow Kai, who's a member of the club. He's also kind of like trying to figure some things out. There's some secrets about Isabel that like everyone doesn't know. It's fantastic. I just really enjoyed the sequel. I was nervous because I always get nervous about sequels when I enjoy a first book especially. But now like I'm not even nervous about King of Greed because I'm so excited for it because it's Marriage in Trouble. I just need it in my like, greedy little hands right now. Like right now. But this for sure is one of the best sequels I read this year, as well as The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. Because listen, I had a big upset. If you follow me on Twitter or anywhere, like I kind of loosely talked about it on there. When this book came out, there was some miscommunication from the publisher to the author around it still being available in the States in KU. It wasn't. It was $10. And I personally I just can't do that for an ebook. And you couldn't buy a physical yet. And I'm like meeting her at Steamylit. So I was like, well, I can just get that at Steamylit, I guess. Like I'll just get the physical at Steamylit and read it that way, worst case. My library came through like pretty quickly because I got it the first day it came out from the library. There was no Kindle edition available and I do not like reading on my phone. It's like a migraine nightmare for me. So I was like, crap. Put it back on hold because I saw that I returned it, then I saw the Kindle version was available, so I put it back on hold and I got it and I read it and I was so happy with this sequel and I'm so relieved about this sequel. I'm pleased. I'm just a happy girl now. I was very nervous because of all these things. Like, am I going to have feelings about this book now? Because I've been so frustrated by the whole release of it. That's like a whole other conversation, how publishers are basically using us as readers now to like find their authors and then publish them traditionally and then mess up some of what they had. I loved it so much and I'm so excited to have all 3 of the old copies signed in my hands, in my house, in August. All right, next is new releases you haven't read yet but want to. So I'm including one that I got early. If you're a Kindle or a Kindle first, I think it's out now. I'm not sure its actual release date. Anyways, first we have Role Playing by Kathy Yardley. I got this for an Amazon Prime first reads and I'm really glad I did, obviously, because I'm very excited for this. This is an older couple. She's like 48, he's 50. I'm really excited for an older couple in a romance book personally. I love the idea that they meet in their guild online, and it just sounds really fun. It just sounds really, really fun to me. So I'm very excited for this book, but I just haven't read it yet. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I just haven't. Next, we also have the newest Christina C. Jones series, Hostile Takeover, which is her like Blackwood Billionaires. I haven't started it yet. If you're new, you don't know this. I'm on like a journey to slowly read all of her backlist, but I know that those ones are like right up my alley. So I'm kind of like holding on to them for the moment in which I need that like pick me up of a Christina C. Jones book. So I think the next slump I might pick this up. We'll see. Okay, next is our most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. Okay, we're just gonna run through this list very quickly. So first we have Kiss and Spell by Celestine Martin. I do have an arc of this already and I'm very excited for it. I really liked the first book, Witchful Thinking, so I can't wait to dive into book 2. I think this had a really good blend of the actual witchy stuff happening on page without it just being like a contemporary book with a little magic thrown in. So I loved this. Pucking Wild by Emily Rath. Listen, no one should be surprised this is on my list. Body Check by Tegan Hunter. I've already almost devoured all of her Carolina Comets. This doesn't come out until September. So I'm like debating, do I like space out my last 2 Carolina Comets or do I just finish them? I think I'm probably just going to finish them this month, but it is what it is. I just need them. Then we have Knockout by Sarah McLean. I'm dying for this book. I love Imogen and I just need her story so badly, so I cannot wait for this to come out in August. Then we have Do Your Worst by Rosie Dannett. Listen, this cover gives me Roy Kent. So I just need it. I really don't know anything about the plot. I just saw the cover and I need it. So I need it. Should I have looked up the plot for this video? Maybe, but I don't care. I need it. I've liked other Rosie Dannets. I'm very intrigued by this cover. Then we also have the Hurricane Wars. Listen, is this another Raylo? Yes. This is a very popular Raylo, and I'm very curious. Everyone I've seen that's read the early ARC copies has really loved it. I do have an ARC, and I am going to try and read it before it comes out, but like this brain doesn't always compute and mesh with the ARC situation, so we'll see what happens, but either way, I'm really excited. All right, the biggest disappointment. Just flat out every book just about that I read for the Goodreads 10 years thing, that was a mess. Like, there were so many not great books there. Other ones would be Rule Number 5 by Jessa Wilder. I still will probably read her next book, but this one for me just like, the TikToks let me down, you know? And it happens. I've had good luck for the most part with a lot of TikTok books as far as hockey ones go. This one let me down. And then Puck Me Secretly by Odette Stone. These have been like the most mediocre series that I keep reading because like I kind of want to know what happens, but I don't love them. And I think there's value in mediocre books, personally, and like when you're in a slump or things, picking up things that you just like, you maybe aren't going to love, but you're going to have a fun time for the most part. So they're like a 3, 2.5, 3, somewhere in there. This one for me, Puck Me Secretly, had such a good setup. Like they're in like a plane crash together, and she tells him she's never gotten off with a man, and he's like, I'll fix that. Like such a good setup, and then like half of it plays out like trash. It makes me so mad. Like, it had such potential, and it just didn't work. Didn't work. All right, biggest surprise. Oh boy. Okay, so this, again, maybe not a surprise for any of you, because I feel like I've talked about it a lot, but maybe not enough. I don't know. Pucking Around by Emily Rath. Y'all, this book did me in. This book is what started my hockey moment, restarted my hockey moment, let's be real, kind of. I mean, there was a reading vlog too, but this book really did push me over the edge into the hockey moment, I feel like. And the fact that I read a book that's like nearly 800 pages about a throuple, no, not throuple, a quad pairing, polyamorous relationship, and like couldn't put it down. I don't know who that girl is. And the fact that like I'm getting my signed copy at Stimulate, right? And fully planning like a reread annotation right of this. I don't know who she is. I have resisted rereading this book until I get it in my hands physically and get an audiobook. So like, I don't know what to tell you, but I love this book and I think it's just so fun. It's so fun. Favorite new author, I'm gonna go with Tegan Hunter because I don't know if I've read her before. I didn't like double check, but I didn't want to do Emily again because I feel like I haven't read enough of her other works yet to be like, yes, Emily. But Tegan Hunter with the Carolina Comets series has just become such a comfort read for me in the last month and a half. I've devoured all of them besides 2. And I've just had such a good time and they're so fun. And I'm thinking about going back and reading her like baseball series. It's weird. I don't know that I would say like her books are like the most like beautiful thing I've ever read, but they're just such solid fun. And that's what I want right now. I just want fun reads and these are fun. And that is why she's currently my favorite. And we're going to continue with book number 8, which is Newest Fictional Crush. It's Rhodes from Blind Pass by Tegan Hunter. He has like the huge scar on his face. He thinks he's ugly. He thinks he's like worthless because of this. Lots of issues here. And listen, I can fix him. Not literally, because like absolutely not. But you know, I can fix him. Also, all the boys in Emily Rath's Pucking Around and Rachel, like I love all of them, like crushes on all of them, would join the polyamorous crew. But yeah, those right now are like my 2 for newest crushes. Then we have newest favorite character. I really liked Ryan in Blind Pass as well. Because she was so unique as a character. Like she was this influencer, but like she was really struggling privately, and I think it helped. I think it was a statement on the fact that like what you see on camera isn't always what real life is. And also just that like not every influencer is making bank like people think they are. And there's a lot more that goes into it. So that was, I just really liked her. And she was very into like capturing people's raw emotions. And I think there's some beauty in the raw emotion element there and her ability to see it. I really liked her. I think she was very fun. Book that made you cry was definitely Blind Pass as well. I cried a little at the like him talking about his scar and stuff, and I don't know, I felt a lot of emotions, and I did shed a little tear, and I don't cry very often, so this is always a hard question. Books that make you happy, or book that made you happy. Carolina Comet series, Pucking Around. A lot of the hockey books I've been reading this year. Forget Me Not made me pretty happy when they got together. I also think I cried a little at this one. A lot of books have made me happy this year. I think most of what I read makes me happy, so it's always hard. Most beautiful cover. I think Forget Me Not is just a stunning cover. This is what I want out of illustrated covers, right? Like, our couple's pretty big, the text is big, there's beautiful floral background that matches the book, the text and font is legible and a good color. Even if you aren't like a neon greeny yellow person, I think it just pops on this background. But yeah, this is one of my favorite covers of 2023. Okay, next 2 more questions and we're done. What book do you need to read by the end of 2023 or the end of the year? Any of my arcs. I would love to be basically clear of all my 2023 arcs by December. I do think I'm going to kind of do arc August where I read most of my arcs. So we'll see what happens. Then the last question is favorite video you've posted this year. And I've liked a lot of the videos I posted this year. I feel like I've leaned in heavily into the things I really enjoy, including like somewhat discourse conversations, but I'm really proud of the 10-year Goodreads collab. I had the idea, I brought it to some friends, and we ran with it, and I just think it was so freaking fun to do, number 1, but 2, I just love all the creators I got to interact and befriend kind of like through this. Like, that was really, really nice and really enjoyable to see happen. The other one, I really liked my cover discourse video where I talked about what I personally don't like in covers, and the follow-up to that where I talked about covers I love. So I enjoy doing that because I like bringing my opinion as a reader of romance for a long time now, I feel like. And obviously we're all allowed to disagree on this, but I just thought that was a really fun video overall to do. I had a lot of fun grabbing covers and breaking down my thoughts and feelings on the covers was really fun to do because I've not done that before completely. Like, we've discussed it briefly in Romancelandia, but I'm not like, this is why I have issues, you know? Like, I've never done that list, so that was fun to do. But yeah, that's the mid-year freakout tag. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how your reading year is going so far. I would love to know your favorite book of the year so far, favorite cover, any of that. Give me one of your faves and then give me one of your least, because I'd love to know the negative. Because I always think it's interesting to hear what everyone else is not enjoying that maybe others did love. So I would love to hear that in the comments. If you don't want to do that, you can leave me a book stack emoji because it's the middle of the year and I have read a ton of books. How did I get here? I don't know, but I'm here and I've read a bunch. So you can do that in the comments. And I will have links to any of the books I talked about that I can link to, as well as links to my friend anywhere on the internet. And I will talk to y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what